Hey loves, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be on high-end makeup. So I did do this video about 2 weeks ago where I featured nothing but drugstore makeup. But today's video I'm going to be featuring high-end makeup. So these products right here I have had for a while. I definitely have tested these products out using different brushes, different techniques on different days. And yeah, not saying that they are just awful products. It's just that they did not work out for me. Now, as a part of this disclaimer, now necessarily what may work for you may not work for me and vice versa. We are all human, and I think that we all have different tastes in our makeup styles, whether that is just skincare, eyeshadow, lipsticks, lip glosses, whatever have you. So yeah, without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into it. So the first product that I am going to mention comes from Smashbox, and it is going to be their Photo Finish Primer Water. Now this one that I have is the travel size because I didn't want to spend the money on the bigger side without just testing a product out to see if I really do love it. So I have been using it, and I just don't see much of a difference when I'm using this. Now, people stated that you can use this so many different ways. You could use it before your foundation, you can use it after your foundation, but either way, I don't see the use of it exactly. So for me, in my preference, I don't necessarily care too much for this over my MAC mineralized charged water. I think for the most part these two things are just the same thing, and because I'm just such a MAC fanatic, I'm going to definitely have to choose my MAC charged water over the Smashbox Photo Finish Primer. Now what I do like to use this for is for my eyeshadows, especially those satin eyeshadows or the metallic eyeshadows, to fold them just a little bit. I'll just spray a little bit on my brush and then apply it to my lid. But as far as a face product, I really don't see much of a difference in the longevity of my makeup. I just feel as though it's just simply water. So the next product that I have is going to come from NARS, and this is going to be their light reflecting setting powder. Their light reflecting setting translucent powder. Now I have had this for a good little while, and I have been testing it here and there, and I've just come to the conclusion that this is definitely not going to be for me. Now for me in general, I am not a loose powder kind of gal. I do love more of a pressed powder. I think a lot of the times when it comes to loose powders on my skin, because I am dry, it does have a tendency to make me a little bit more drier. But nonetheless, I find that this translucent powder gives major flashbacks. So if you are trying to use this to set your under eye area, I would definitely say be cautious. Now I do like the texture because it's finely milled. It's a good product, but with the flashback is the only reason why I don't use this setting powder to set my under eye or just my overall face. But I do think that is a great powder if you are not going to be taking flash photography, or you have more of an oilier skin type, because dry skin, this is definitely going to make you even more drier. The next product that I have comes from NARS. Now, this was just the hype here on YouTube, so I did go out and purchase the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer. Now, the shade that I have this one in is in Medium Dark 3 Amande. Now, I don't see what was the hype about. I feel as though this concealer is probably no different from my MAC Pro Longwear if you're talking about high-end makeup, high-end concealers. I don't see much of a major difference when I am wearing this concealer. So I do like the shade. I do like the texture of it. It's a really nice concealer, but I think for the price point, we all know that NARS is a little bit more expensive, but as for the price point, I think it was about $28. Definitely not going to be a repurchase of mine, But I do love the shade and the texture. I definitely love how it blends underneath the under eye area. I just wish that I probably had another shade other than Amande, because Amande is more really close to my skin tone, so it doesn't necessarily give me a highlighted look. But for the price point, I would definitely go ahead and stick with my MAC Pro Longwear Concealer over the Radiant Creamy Concealer. So the next product is probably going to be a shocker, and it is going to be the Estee Lauder Double Wear Stay in Place Makeup. Now this is going to be the foundation. Now initially when I got this foundation, oh my god, I absolutely loved everything about this foundation. I love the shade range, I love the finish that it gave, I love the long lasting ability. But now I have been just steering away from it. Now the shade that I have this one in is in 6W1 Sandalwood. Now the only thing that I don't like about this foundation is that if you use too much of it, you definitely have to have a light hand with this foundation, because it would definitely give you this poreless fly. It would definitely give you this poreless kind of face, this poreless kind of application where you just look so stiff. So this is the only bad thing that I don't like about the foundation. Now as far as everything else is concerned, the shade range, the finish is absolutely phenomenal. I love the fact that it is long lasting, but I just don't like that porcelain demi matte kind of face. I am radiance. I love a radiant glow. I love skin that looks like skin, and this one does not do that for me. But what I would say, if you are dry, definitely go ahead and moisturize your skin extremely well when you are using this foundation. I think a good base, good skincare, this foundation will look absolutely beautiful on you. So I know that recently they released a new foundation, the new Water Air or something of that sort. So I'm definitely going to give that one a try and compare the two and see which one I do prefer better. Not a bad product, but I just don't care too much for it. Now the next product that I have comes from NARS. No, this is Tom Ford. So this is definitely going to be a luxury product. Now this is going to be a lipstick that I have, and this one is in Deep Mink, which is like a nude, like a brownish nude shade. Beautiful shade. Really nice for deeper skin tone, especially when you line it with a lip liner. It is to die for. Now outside of the price point of this lipstick being about $52, I did treat myself for my birthday and got this lipstick, but I find that this lipstick is no better than my MAC lipsticks. I absolutely love MAC lipsticks. Now the only thing that I don't like about this lipstick is just the waxy texture, the waxy formula. It has a wax formula to it, but it's overall extremely pigmented. I just don't like the waxiness. I like something that's more on a creamier side, where at first I would just go ahead and powder my lips and then apply the lipstick. But with this, it definitely counteracts it because of the waxy, and it doesn't have the best scent to it. But for Tom Ford, I mean, you get what you pay for. Outside of the packaging is really adorable. I really love the packaging, but the formula is what gets me. They have so many array of shades, array of colors, so you'll definitely be able to find what it is that you're looking for. But if you cannot take the waxiness that the lipstick has in its formula, I would definitely say go ahead and stick to my your MAC lipsticks. At least that's what I'll be doing for the time being. But yeah, Tom Ford, pretty pricey item, really luxury, but no, it's definitely not going to be worth the $52, $53 price point. So the last product that I am going to mention is going to be this primer from Chanel. Now, I used this primer one time and I have not used it ever since. There is something about this primer that I really don't like. I think what it is that it doesn't necessarily prime my face. I feel as though it just sits on top of my skin. Now, for me, when I want to prime my face, I want something that is going to moisturize as well, and also just go ahead and fill in pores, or do what it needs to do. And this primer is not going to be it for me. It has a weird formula to it, and then it just leaves like this whitish cast over your face, as if the product is not absorbed into your skin. It looks like it's just sitting there, and this is what I don't like about it. It's really milky white. It's a really milky white texture, but it just doesn't seem to absorb really well. Now, they say that this is in a multi-use illuminated base, so I wouldn't necessarily call this a primer. I definitely would not call this a primer. So really milky in texture, and it's okay, but I haven't used it in such a long time. But yeah, definitely save your coins on this is the Le Blanc de Chanel, really expensive product. It's probably up in the $50-something range. So definitely save your coins on this. This is not going to pretty much do anything for you but sit on your skin. And of course, you're going to apply foundation, but nonetheless, I want something that is going to penetrate and massage because I am dry. So yeah, loves, that is going to be it for this video. Make sure that you comment below. Thank you, love, so much for rocking out with me today. Be sure to follow me on my social media platforms. I am more active on Instagram at I am Coco Brown. And until my next video, I will see you loves later. Bye guys.